and defends her very being. Satellite pictures show a coastline that's very familiar, yet hardly anyone's seen it all at close quarters. Photographs give an inkling, but what you really need to do is fly. Fly around the entire mainland of England, Scotland and Wales with experts to explain what you see and ordinary people who live on the coast to say what it means to them. That way, you paint a living picture of the shape of the nation.
We really ought to start by getting this absolutely right. As a geologist, I'd say not all Britain arose from the azure main. South Wales, for example, arose from steaming coal forests. But here, there was a sea, warm and tropical.
Flying into the most westerly point of England, Land's End. Valerian, the Romans called it, the seat of storms.
And Land's End certainly did arise in great upwellings of molten granite, shouldering aside the sediments of that ancient sea. What you're looking at now is the solid, hard remains laid bare by the onslaught of the raging Atlantic. Just behind the hard granite, the softer rocks have been washed away by the ocean to form Mounts Bay.
Thousands of years ago, Stone Age man built settlements on these cliffs. Their descendants preferred to snuggle in the shelter of places like Mousehole. Mousehole?
Mousehole! And Newlyn. Fishing industry's doing really well here. We land up to £15 million worth of fish a year. Mostly sole and ache and monkfish. And we've had to build a new quay to unload them. 90% we export, but plenty find their way to the fish markets inland.
Laying thy boat into this harbour, long time, my fear waited thee. Furl thy sails and sail no further, thy fitty boat no more to sail to sea. Harbour water new and sunny,
flying down now to the most southerly point on the coast of mainland Britain, the Lizard.
My sails to mend, my cordage to renew. We will spend a while together.
Now the rocks have changed to hard serpentine that juts out to sea to form strangely carved islands and promontories. A vast slab of ancient ocean floor shoved along and dumped just here. That's the Lizard. Very hard and stable.
Yes, indeed. Just the very foundation we needed for our precision telecommunications satellite tracking aerials here at Goonhilly, the ones that relay telephone and television programs right around the world.
You find various clues along this part of the coast that the actual level of the sea has risen and fallen quite dramatically in prehistoric times. There's a big network of drowned river valleys coming up any minute now. The Fowle River and its tributaries carved out deep valleys before and during the last ice age. Then when the ice finally melted, the sea level rose several hundred feet and flooded the valleys the rivers had carved out.
So now you find these delightful haunts for boating.
Oh, it's a lovely spot. Warmest wintering place in the British Isles. with temperatures like Nice on the French Riviera. So it is claimed.
St. Maul's Well was traditionally believed to be a sovereign cure for worms.
And between the flooded valleys, tentacles of land reach down to the sea with some of the most beautiful village names in England, St. Anthony and St. Just in Roseland.
Look at this complicated coastline. It's the scalloped edge of a huge depression in the Earth's crust, now under the sea. They discovered, with deep echo sounding, there's ancient desert sands 6 miles thick filling that depression. And the coast itself is a series of bays within bays within bays.
Real Smuggler's Coast this was, and we're coming up to the River Foy estuary, a natural harbour surveyed in 1786 by a young naval lieutenant, James Cook, who later became Captain Cook. His survey was so accurate, his charts were used until quite recently. But in Cook's time, Foy itself was raided so badly by the press gangs that there was only 1 man to every 7 women.
Heading now for the mecca of tourist Cornwall. Non-resident cars are banned from Polperro, and it takes a good 10 minutes to walk down through its narrow streets to the tiny harbour, thronged with summer visitors. Rather less cramped, but similarly geared to sell you a Cornish pasty or a Cornish pisky, according to your taste, is Looe. Up on top of those seaside hills, there's a monkey sanctuary. Then we're back down to Seaton, Downderry, Port Wrinkle, and some beautiful unspoilt stretches around the rocky perimeter of White Sand Bay, where a child can climb, dig, swim and play from dawn till dusk. No more big towns until Plymouth.